Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. We are about to get serious about all this information I just found out about the letters from Christopher book. I was going to wait till tomorrow to make this video, but I can't sleep and I just have to get some of these things off my mind and off my chest. So basically, I watched the interview with a ex-defense attorney that I'm sure a lot of you have seen with Scott, and found out all this information that is in this book, Letters from Christoper. So I was shocked again. This is the third truth we've been given. And I'm going to give you some details that came from the interview. And then I am going to also give you another side of this whole thing by telling you what I found out on J's for Justice's channel. So basically, I was all about this author and thought everything that she said was golden until I saw some of the text messages that this author has sent to Chris's sister. So basically, this author of the book, Letters from Christoper, wrote to Chris 3 times before he responded and asked him if she could tell his story. So he finally agreed. They visited for 5 hours at a time, 3 times. They talked on the phone. She reached out to their family. In her interview, she says that the family, the Watts family, was willing to work with her until they found out that they weren't going to be able to decide the narrative of the book. And she acts like they dumped her once they found out they couldn't say what they wanted to say in this book. But if you go to J's for Justice and you see these text messages, she almost baited the entire Watts family by telling them she was going to give the proceeds of the book to get him a lawyer, and that just there's a whole nother side to what this author is saying. And I'm getting ready to tell you what this author is saying, but also go to J's for Justice, check out those text messages that were sent to Jamie, and you decide. But it really is disturbing, one of the letters that was released. I did go to Barnes & Noble and order the book. It's not in Barnes & Noble. They said it's on demand. So I ordered it, and we'll see how long it takes to get it. I do plan on reading some of the stuff or giving you the summarized version of what's in there as soon as the book comes. But basically, some new stuff has came out in the book. Whether we are to believe it or not is up to you. Remember, he told one story to the FBI, which he's saying he only came up with that story because the FBI gave him that story. He went with it because they said that. He's told another story to the FBI when they came back to the prison to talk to him. And according to this book, he's saying that he had no idea they were coming. And so he said all that stuff because he didn't have time to come up with what he was going to say. It was a surprise visit. So he also says that there are some things that he's going to take to his grave and that he will never tell us. And he also says that he still cares about Nicole Kessinger and that he thinks that she might possibly be writing him from Hawaii and using code, but he's not 100% sure. The book also says that he has a girlfriend that he sees at least once a week. The book says that he has so many fans and people writing him and talking to him that he has to schedule days to write them back and days to call. It also says that he gave Oxycontin to Shanann when she was pregnant, hoping that she would miscarry, saying that it would be easier for him to leave her if she wasn't pregnant. He also says in this book, allegedly, that he planned the murders for 3 weeks in advance. He also says that he sent the picture of the doll covered up as a joke. He also says that he gives a vivid account of what he did to Shanann and the girls. And he says that he killed the girls twice. He says that he tried smothering them before he killed Shanann and walked out of their room thinking he would never ever tuck them in again. And then he killed Shanann and they came into the room and he was not happy about that. And so that's why he took them with him out to the place of employment and did it again out there. He says that he dropped Shanann coming down the stairs and that the girls were running around the house, and Bella started crying and it made Celeste whimper. And he also said that there was visible signs of trauma from where he tried to kill them the first time, that he could see visible signs of trauma to their face, like bloodshot eyes. He also says that he knew that he had killed Shanann because he watched her eyes go black and the life go out of her and her relieve herself. He's just so cold talking about it. He's just so, like, he's basically giving an account from a witness's perspective. You know, a witness sees something and they're not as emotionally involved as the person doing it or the victim. And you would just think that he's some innocent bystander that's watched this and he's giving a recount of what he saw. In all actuality, it was him that did this. Now, let's take it back to the reason why I even was interested in this case is because I am from North Carolina originally, just like Shanann and Chris. And I moved to Frederick, Colorado from North Carolina, just like Shanann did with my husband. And he worked out there, and I lived in Frederick, Colorado, and I sold Thrive as well, just like Shanann did. I got on my Facebook and I went ham over Thrive, and I just wanted everybody to try it, and I was doing lives all the time. And so I felt connected because, you know, I knew what it was like to be from North Carolina and get put in Colorado and have to live there. And I knew what it was like to sell Thrive, and I knew what it was like to be in a relationship that was one-sided. So it's just super disturbing to hear him recount that day. I knew the moment I seen him on the porch that he did it. I knew the moment I seen him watching the neighbor's video of him loading up the truck, I knew he did it. I think the rest of the world knew that, but never in a million years did I think that he would try to give her OxyContin to make her have a miscarriage. There is a video out there saying that he got the OxyContin from the medical bin of medicine that they had, but I don't believe that video or that audio is correct. It doesn't even sound like him throughout the whole thing. So, but I do believe that the author did bait them. I do believe that she promised them the world to get them to open up to him or her. And then I believe she switched it. And I believe she only said those things to gain their trust. So the author is not 100% in the right. So just remember that these tactics that she used when you're reading this book. And let's see, what else did they say? Basically, I will be doing more videos on this once I get the book and I have more information. And as I get information, I will be sharing it with you guys. But also this case hit close to home because my mother was murdered by my stepfather when I was 14 years old. So I know what men are capable of. And women too, you know, women kill also. But it's just really, really close to home, and my heart pours out to the family. They never wanted to be in the limelight, none of them, and in such a horrible, tragic way too. I know that Chris did say that he's upset that people don't want him to have pictures of Shanann and the girls in his cell, that he can't understand why people are being like that. Well, we as people can't understand why you did what you did, so let's just chalk it up to we all don't understand some things in life. And see, what else did he say? He can quote scriptures like you wouldn't believe. She's the author of the book, said that she has never seen somebody be able to quote the Bible like he has. She also did say that he mentioned that those 2 months that he was with Nikki, that there was something dark at her apartment. There were things that went on there that he will never talk about. He did say that he felt a darkness come over him during those times, and that he would never talk about what he saw at the apartment, and that he did originally say that he would never say who gave him the Oxycontin, which of course makes me think it was Nicole, because that's the only person he's protected in this. If you notice in his interview with the FBI, he keeps saying, when he's talking about that day and what he did, he keeps saying we. So who's we? I did pick up on that. I also just think that, just like the rest of the world, that she had something to do with it, but I don't ever think that it's ever going to come out to light. I do think he will take that to the grave, and I do not think she will ever come clean, and I do not think that she will ever be charged, because if the state had enough to convict her, they would have. Trust me, they would have. So it's not that she didn't do it, it's just that they don't have enough evidence to prove it or to take it to court. And so the author says that she tried to look up Nikki, and that she has disappeared off the face of the earth, that she thinks that she changed her hair and her look and moved. And so who knows when it comes to Nicole, where she is or what she's doing. And I mean, hey, she might write a book too. From what I hear, Cindy is working on a book, and so we could be learning about this and hearing more and more of Chris's stories for the next decade, for all we know. I did see where the author said that she was going to use the money for the book to get Chris an appeal and all this stuff. So there was a lot of manipulation going on with this author. So do not think that she is spotless in all of this. And I did in the beginning, and I made an original video, and I'm so glad that it messed up and did not upload, because there is more to the story I found out after when I went and watched Jays for Justice. And so basically, just do your research. We're going to read the book. We're going to see exactly what's in there. I can't read it word for word, of course, because I didn't write the book, but I can give you my summary of each chapter. And I have done lots and lots of research on this case, just because it hit so close to home, and I had so many similarities to it. And so I have seen thousands of YouTubers' information. I have seen every bit of the discovery. I have watched every bit of the lie detector test. I've watched every bit of every interview that's out there, and doing all these things to find out why, or to see if we missed something, or you know, just for answers. And we all keep coming back to the same thing, getting our answers from Chris. But how can we trust what he's saying when he's told us 3 different stories? So in the beginning, it was Shanann that killed the girls, and then after that, it was he killed them at the oil tanks, and then now he's saying he tried to kill them in their bed, smothering them with a pillow, and then he killed Shanann, and then the girls got up and he had to kill them a second time, which doesn't make any sense because they didn't die the first time. So I just do not understand any of it. He did search the song Battery after he killed them all, and it's very dark song about annihilating your family, or that's what the lyrics seem to be about. And I just feel like he was taken over by some kind of force. Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe this was in him the whole time. We will never know. But what I do find out through reading and educating myself on the case, I will share with you guys. I get emotional at times when it comes to this. This is the first time I've been able to make a video and not cry about it. And I didn't even know the girls, but I became a grandmother this past September, a year ago, and it changes you to become a grandmother. And so I didn't think I could love anymore, but I do. And I can't imagine what the grandparents are going through on both sides. So let's just be respectful, but tell me what you think. And anything that you might have found out. There's a lot going around, so it's hard to pick through the rumor and what's true. I did read the discovery report, so I did find out that there was oil in Bella's lungs, or something that comes in oil, and so it makes me wonder if he didn't do it the first time and they woke up. What if the second time wasn't enough and they woke up in the tanks? And so your mind just runs and races, and it goes places that you never wanted to take yourself. And the letter that he wrote, if he really wrote that letter describing it to like that, then wow. And I know that he's found God, and that God has forgiven him, and he's a loving God, and he will forgive him. But how do you forgive yourself? Like, just because God has forgiven you, I would never be able to forgive myself. And he talks to them in his cell, and the author says he's never really apologized in any of the letters that she wrote. They're saying that he only wrote one letter to this author, and she is saying it was multiple letters. So hopefully all this will come out. Let's remember that this is the author's first book. She only wrote like little columns and stuff before this. There are some problems going on with shipping and it being released. I know that much. And so we'll just see. I mean, we will get to the bottom of it. We will. We already have researched and found out a lot, all of us, you know. How many of us read all of those discoveries? How many of us were in Facebook groups? How many of us follow this story? It's just crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And I think that it all made us think that that really nice man next door, you just never know what's going on in behind closed doors. And so for him to do all of this over a mistress is just mind-blowing. And for Nicole to not even get a slap on the wrist and to be able to disappear and continue with her life is unbelievable. She should have to answer, you know, to her actions, and she's probably never going to. I don't believe she's in the witness protection program at all. They're not going to do, and no one, you know, no, that's not happening. And so I do think that she will reach out to Chris one day, and she may already be reaching out to him. They said that there's this girl that writes him from Hawaii that he thinks uses code. It talks to him about banana bread or craziness, that it might be her, but who knows? And I think the only reason that Nicole went to the police is because her boss called a few hours before that and said that he had found the emails between Chris and Nicole. So Again, you can't believe everything Chris says, and you can't believe everything the author says. So there's Chris's version, there's the author's version, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle. So I just cannot believe that he would talk about what he did in the details that he did, and still when he's describing what he did, he's talking about how angry he was with Shanann. And I mean, you killed her, so how can you still be mad afterwards? You took her life. So maybe he was still blaming her for him having to do that. So I don't know. It's really bad. And for the people out there like Critical K that just bashes and badmouths Shanann, she may be backpedaling now and nicer now, but in the beginning, I mean, you can go to J is for Justice. There is an insert there of her saying Shanann basically got what she deserved. And so I used to watch her, and I'm going to go unsubscribe to her because I'm so thankful that J is for Justice put that out there, because that's not how she's acting now. So there's just people out there that think they know it all, and really nobody knows the whole story. I can't even be mad at just Chris or mad at just Cindy, or I'm mad at everything. I'm mad at the whole situation. I'm mad at every single part that played in this, but no one deserved to die. So you could be with your mistress. I mean, there's plenty of people that survive divorce. I just don't get it. And so you need not be preaching forgiveness, because God is the only one that can forgive you. No one else will. All right, so I'm going to let y'all know everything else I find out. I know that this is really rambly, but I had to get this off my chest. It's just crazy. My mother was murdered. My ex-husband almost killed me in Frederick, Colorado. So maybe it's in the water there. I don't know, but let's just stay tuned and see what happens. Talk to y'all later. Bye.